looks like we can start today's presentation, and I'll share my screen. So as you know, we had several contribution days in the previous week. That's why we have quite a lot of stories in progress, and I hope we will make a demo and close 5 of that stories on today's demo, and we'll leave 5 more stories for the next demo. So during today's demo, we will show you the full integration with checkout. So we already showed you several presentations of how we integrated the synchronization with the previous version of the stock item, and actually how that stock deduction happened and update the data for the previous stock item. But during the current demo, we will show you how we actually introduce the reservation mechanism and all the checkout process, which happens both on a front end and on a back end. So we have actually used the reservation placement. And for this work, we have the dedicated story, like checkout adaptation for the multi-source purpose, and the substitute deduction on the current checkout flow with reservation placement. And also, we made the adaptation of the admin part. So in the order which is placed in the admin panel. So in the order which is placed in the admin panel, we also place a reservation. After that, we will show you story. So like as you know, we had that source and the source item concept. And we released that, and actually we introduced the source item import and export functionality. But after some time, we realized that it's much user-friendly if we would use source code instead of the source ID, because the source ID is pretty artificial identity which we use in Magento. But if we going to synchronize data with the external ERP system, it's much better to use some natural identity. So for this kind of identity, we'll use the source code. And actually, we eliminated all the usages of the source code for most of our entities, for the source and the source items, and made quite a bigger factor in a way to get rid of the source code usage. So this is kind of change and the adaptation of our interfaces to make them more domain friendly. And also our return functionality, but it's a little bit tricky to show it. But it's also use the MSI and the reservation under the hood. So I'm stop sharing my screen, and I'm giving a word to Vyacheslav Moskaliuk, who is our quality assurance engineer, and Vyacheslav will show you pretty interesting stuff, how we create the user scenarios, and how actually we are making sure that MSI functionality complies with Magento requirements and that we meet all the acceptance criteria. So Vyacheslav, you can share your screen and provide the update.
Yeah, hello to everyone. I will show what we do, what I'm doing about covering MSI functionality, MSI model with test cases. And our main tool is it's named HipTest.net. Using these tools for creating test scenarios. And here our board, it's called MSI. And we have already 40 scenarios. I will open this. It have folders and subfolders and divided according to functionality, and covering functionality of MSI, different type of manipulations with stocks, with sources, import, export, and so on. And if you are interested in joining this work to write scenarios for testing, you may write on Slack and MSI channel that you are interested in. You may be added as a user because it's not open yet, but you may be added to join this work. And today I will show you this new functionality what Igor said. It's covered also already. There are some tests written about this, and for example, I logged in customer can create order. I open the scenario, and mainly it's divided on three main so to say part: given, when, and then. Do you see my screen? Okay. And given it's like a precondition, what's usually in Jira, it's used, it's what needs to be done before you start testing functionality. For example, in this case, given it's simple product created, and there is an arrow here, you may click, and here you may see the steps, what is needed to create product. Then it's customer created. And again, here steps how to create customer. Now we go to when. When it's real action what we do. For example, we logged in customer, made order. And again, I click on arrow, and here we can see steps what need to do to create order from home page. And the last part is when you verify that order placed correctly, checkout been done correctly, and product quantity decreased correctly. And it's one of the test cases. And today I will show you how it's work in MSI. So here I have simple product one created. It's have quantity 100, and on default stock it's also quantity 100. But before I do order, I want to say that now in configuration in catalog inventory, there is option. Here it's called in the stock option tab, and you may decrease stock when order is placed, set or to yes or to no. In past it was always yes, so when you did order, it's automatically was decreasing of stock for product. Now I will show you how it works with no, and let's say config. And I go to my homepage, go to my products, I add it to the cart, proceed to checkout. I already have custom created, so I use it. Here I may choose flat rate, and shipping address already filled. And finally I place order. Yeah, we got success page that order was placed correctly. And now I refresh my product page in admin. And you may see that still the quantity of product is still 100. and the same it's on default source. This why, because in configuration we said that there is no decrease after order is placed. It's resolved, and it will be decreased only after order was completed. How far it's not implemented yet? Yes, again.
Yeah, that's
But
enough.
it's the logical how it will work. Now I change this option to yes, and we'll do order with another configuration. I will do the index and flash the cache. And I go back to home page. I product to the cart. Let's do it, for example, 5 item. And we proceed checkout. Choose shipping method. Now I place order again. Yes, we got success page. And now I'm refreshing my simple product count page in admin. Now you see that quantity is decreased to 95, and it's still not decreased on default source because it's in reserve, but this functionality is not implemented yet. The second part that I want to show, it's about how to do imports. And I go in admin to system imports menu. And you remember we had, now we have 95 in stock quantity. I use import setting entity type stock sources and import behavior as add and update. I show to the system the path to my import file and check data. And now I may apply imports. Import successfully done. Now I go to see what has happened with our products in admin on product page. You see the quantity decreased to 15, and stock quantity on default source is decreased to 15. It's according to my import file where I wrote the simple products. The quantity is supposed to be 15. I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so next part would be presented by Valery. We will show you how the order could be placed from the admin panel, so that we also place a reservation at that time as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Valery, looks like you're on mute. We're not able to hear.
Are you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, here. Kudush.
So in precondition, I have some simple product, for example, some with quantity 103. After that, I go to orders, sales orders. And try to create new order. I choose some predefined user. This user was registered on default website, and default website is related to our default stock. So I choose some product, for example, always simple, for example, to add select product to shopping cart. Use predefined address. Shipping same as billing. Choose shipping method and place order. Okay, order has been created, and now we could see that we have for reservation. I refresh my DB, and we can see that reservation has been created during checkout via admin panel. We are creating order via admin panel, and open products, and we could see that quantity is not changed. Also, during this week, we have started work about some UI, about source delivery. Now we present only one more tabs with information about quantity, about product quantity on different sources. But now this story is in progress. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Valery. Just want to say like several words regarding the stories which were presented. Actually, it's a very important milestone for the MSI in general, because we finished the integration with the checkout, with both admin and front-end checkout process, and now currently we see that MSI reservation are placed on all the in all the places where we have the stock manipulation. So whether we need to increase or decrease stock, whether we need to import product with some stock, actually all that manipulation are updated via reservation. And actually that's why we are finishing this big part integration with the checkout. So the next part, and we already started to work on it, and actually Valery just presented you a new tab in the admin panel. So actually this is already source order processing milestone, when we need to process the placed order, detect what source is supposed to be used for the order fulfillment and shipment, and actually like place and deliver that order. So yeah, so like these three stories, actually four stories presented in the scope of Valery's and Vyacheslav's presentation, actually about integration with the checkout and integration between the old stock item and the new source item. So the next presentation would be given by Alex Yakimovich, who actually finished the story regarding elimination of source ID usage, and actually like the elimination of the source ID out of all the interfaces we have on MSI, and the usage the source code instead of it. So Alex, can you hear me? Can you share your screen and make a presentation?
Yes. I have work in the task by sorry. In the task by changing source ID field by source code field. It starts by replacing this field on the export and import process. We can check it if we start export process. In the field list, we see the source code instead source ID. Try to check. Source code. Also, we change the import process. We choose the new file with source code field and try to import it. Validation was success. As you can see, import was finished successfully. Also, in the scope of this task, I changed all relations between source and other entities from source ID to source code field. For example, you can see the database structure for other entities. Source, we have source ID primary key and source code unique field. On other tables, we have source code instead source ID for relation with source entity. Source code, source code. That's all in scope of my task.
Okay, thank you, Alex. So yeah, actually doing the work Alex just presented, we are making our interfaces more domain-driven, design-friendly, and in a way of using natural keys instead of the surrogate keys. And actually, that's probably the all stories we wanted to show you during this demo. Everybody who would like, Mark, maybe you have some questions regarding the story presented?
No, but like that one that Alex just presented, that's really great. I mean, to see all that done in such a short period of time, it's really, really helpful.
Cool. And guys who are on a call, if you would like to join the work of writing test cases in a HipChat, please let us know in the MSI Slack channel, and you would be granted permission to write the user test cases, and you can participate in the testing of the MSI and covering it with acceptance testing and etc. etc. So feel free. Now we are starting discussion how to cover how to make sure that MSI is fully covered with acceptance testing. So if you would like to join the discussion, also let us know about that. And if there are no any other questions, it's all for today. and thank you for attendance.
Igor, maybe you need to provide a few words about new labels on our pull request. What does
Ah,
mean?
Yeah, so let me share my screen. That makes sense. So taking into account that currently we are lucky guys because we have one dedicated quality assurance engineer on a track. So we started to pay more attention on testing, like manual testing. And that's why we actually introduce some new labels. And actually these labels are QA failed, QA in progress, and QA passed. So actually, if your pull request is supposed to deliver some functionality into Magento, sometimes actually how it was before that. So me or Valera came to your pull request and made a code review firstly, and after the code review passed, we started to make some kind of testing. So currently we changed it a little bit, and if the pull request is supposed to deliver some new functionality, which is could overcome us and start making testing before the code review, just to make the response as soon as possible. Because, for example, after the 3 contribution days in the previous week, we got a queue with 20 open pull requests. So actually we were kind of the bottleneck to make the code review in all of that pull requests. So Vyacheslav started to make the testing in that pull request as well, not waiting for our approval regarding the code quality. And because actually for some of the pull requests, actually functionality is broken, and like applying the label QA failed actually mean for contributors that he no need to wait for the code review stage. So it's better to make some fixing, because actually it's pretty clear that something went wrong and some of the core functionality is broken. So actually that's pretty typical to what we have in core. So actually we introduce these 3 labels, and now you could be notified by our quality assurance engineer that functionality you're going to introduce or existing functionality is broken, so you need to pay attention on that. And yeah, and that's probably all. So if you don't have other questions, I suppose no. So thank you for. Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot about that. So if Mark okay with that, we will close the stories which were presented today, and actually that were 5 stories marked with done label here. So all of that stories were presented, and if it's okay, we'll just close it after this demo.
Yeah, that's fine. Do we have a link for each of those there with the PR? Some of them are missing.
Yeah, actually, I will add absent link for these stories. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so looks like now that's all. So thank you for attendance, and have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Могу и у других спросить, может, у других вопросы.